The HMS Bounty set sail from England in 1787 on a mission to the South Pacific to acquire breadfruit plants. These were intended to be transported to the West Indies as cheap food for slaves. The command of the ship was given to Lieutenant William Bligh, whose task was to navigate to Tahiti, collect the plants, and then sail on to the Caribbean. Bligh, while renowned for his navigational skills, was also noted for his strict disciplinary methods, which were harsh even by the standards of the 18th century Royal Navy. His austere regime, coupled with the allure of the idyllic life in Tahiti, strained relations with his crew. After 5 months in Tahiti, where the sailors had lived relatively free from discipline and had formed attachments with the islanders, the return to the rigid and harsh conditions aboard the Bounty proved unbearable for some. The mutiny was led by Fletcher Christian, master's mate, on April 28, 1789. Christian and several crew members seized the ship, setting Bligh and 18 loyalists adrift in a small open launch in the South Pacific. Remarkably, Bligh navigated this overcrowded boat over 3,600 miles to Timor in the Dutch East Indies, surviving 47 days at sea on limited rations in an extraordinary feat of seamanship and endurance. Meanwhile, Christian and the mutineers sought a safe haven to escape the inevitable Royal Navy pursuit. They eventually settled on Pitcairn Island, a then uninhabited and incorrectly charted island in the South Pacific. They burned the Bounty to avoid detection and started a new community. The descendants of the mutineers and their Tahitian companions still live on Pitcairn, one of the British Empire's smallest territories. The British Navy later captured some of the mutineers who had stayed in Tahiti rather than accompany Christian to Pitcairn. They were taken back to England and tried. Some were hanged, others acquitted, and some received the king's pardon. The Bounty mutiny raises complex questions about leadership, justice, and human rights. It shows how dire conditions and questionable leadership can lead to desperate actions. Over time, perspectives on Bligh and Christian have shifted as new evidence has come to light, showing Bligh perhaps not as tyrannical as once thought, and Christian as more complex than a mere hero or villain. This story remains a captivating chapter in maritime history, continually reinterpreted in cultural depictions reflecting the changing views on authority and rebellion.